there is an incredible demand for living space in this area. Over the course of the past 30 years or so, the rise in property values and in rents has just been like 13% a year. We are reaping enormous financial rewards from our pro-sociality. Like, being able to get along with each other lets us live in a way where we can afford to live in one of the most expensive neighborhoods in the country. This is a really amazing neighborhood, though. I think it's like the second most expensive one in the U.S. Second most expensive zip code in the United States. Just nuts. I mean, it's Atherton. The place across the street sold for like $11.5 million. I never would have thought that I would have lived in a co-op before I lived in a co-op. It never would have occurred to me that I would like this. I thought that, I like being able to walk around my house naked whenever I want, and, I don't want to give up that liberty, but, it's not that bad. I think that there are a lot of people who would be able to live like this if they didn't think it was so damn weird, and if it didn't have that kind of political connotation to it. I think that most people think this is okay when you're in college, and then, you need to buy a house, on your own when you're an adult. You are an adult, that is what you do. And I think that expectation actually is probably the single biggest hurdle to more people living like this. So, myself and Diana are, I suppose, a pair of scientists, although Diana is a much more legit science human than I am. Diana is a productivity machine. She's probably the smartest person I have ever known well. She's I think, intellectually at the peak of human performance in pretty much every metric. Joel is probably the most bizarrely mature 23-year-old man I've ever known. Joel's really, yeah. His room is so tidy. What is going on? I mean, who can live like this? It's ridiculous. Like that. Okay. I would describe him as pretty richly intellectual, very smart computer programmer, working at Oracle nowadays. In some ways, I can still see his age on him a lot. It's hard to remember that he's that young, but he seems a bit naive to me in some ways. But I think he'll grow out of it nicely. Chevek fences. He doesn't ever do anything by half. He is enormously British in origin, and he is also a brilliant computer programmer. It's only through a very long and persistent relationship with him that I've learned as much about him as I have. Taya makes meals way too good. That is a problem, because it raises expectations. I just need her to bring it way down. Way down. I'm making macaroni and cheese. I want to look bad here. Taya suffers and has suffered enormously from being a super, super hot chick for her entire life. It's actually kind of a terrible burden. And I feel a kind of general standoffishness from me. And I completely understand why I feel. I'm not good at turning down the volume on my personality, and I think I can be overbearing, and I rapidly can be filed away in somebody's mind as a particular category of male douchebag, which I definitely dance on the line at times, so I can't blame her for that. Caitlin actually reminds me a lot of Diana in various ways, in that she is super, super shy. Difficult to draw her out. Clearly extraordinarily smart, clearly extraordinarily well-read, and clearly deeply neurotic as well. But again, also similar to my wife. Who else? Who else is in the house? I think that's that. I think we've covered everybody. But when things are bad, when you've had a major crushing experience, or all of a sudden you're the kind of sick that you might not necessarily get better from, or your business fails and you're destitute all of a sudden. I've seen all these things happen. And having people who love and care about you around you when they happen helps so much. And that's the real. Like I can give you I actually started writing a paper on it, like the breakdown of the economic advantages of living like this. They're significant. the real advantage is in being close to people who give a shit about you. That's huge.